Hello and welcome to Ho 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 Zed, the Christmas special. And we ask, is it time for Marcelo Bielsa to kick the bucket? Metaphorically, of course. Should Stevie G feel hard done by after his Anfield return? Is it all over at Arsenal? And are United set for a title challenge after cruising past relegation-threatened Norwich? We also have reaction to the Champions League draw. Hang on, let me do that again. We also have reaction to the Champions League draw. What? UEFA did it? Did it again? No.
All right.
Plus, we have a show more jam-packed than my U-bend after I ate a kilo of pistachios on Christmas Day 2009.
Oh my gosh.
With me, as always, is Hannah East. Right, Hannah?
I really love the introduction to our football podcast there, talking about your U-bend after pistachios.
Oh, God. You all right, Mike?
How's it going, mate? I'm glad to be here in person and see Hannah for the first time, and unfortunately see you again in person.
Well, we're back in the studio. It feels this is different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
It's still taken us a standard 45 minutes to get going.
Yeah, I've had to sort all the issues out with the techie stuff.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
thank God I was here.
How's your last couple of weeks been, Hannah? You been in Amsterdam?
I have, yeah.
Puffing on the old jazz cabbage?
Yeah. Well, Amsterdam are in full lockdown at the moment, so from 5 o'clock everything shuts, as in room service, everything.
So privileged. I love that. Everything shut. Room service. I wasn't allowed to whip my butler.
But yeah, it was really it was a good gig.
Yeah.
I missed our podcast.
What were you doing? You were doing cycling, weren't you?
I was, and netball before that as well, yeah.
It was
everything.
It's really weird. I saw a photograph on Instagram and Hannah's there in a huge studio looking all professional and everything, and like everyone's like, oh, like she did a really good job, and I was like, Hannah East.
Oh, it's our Hannah, isn't it?
I know, it was weird because they did praise me and said I did really well, and that was really professional.
But that's
Really
also,
odd.
as I told you a couple of weeks ago, that's what happened when I did that gig in Hamburg, which then received negative reviews in a national newspaper. No, well done, Hannah. That sounds nice.
Thanks.
Mike, what have you been doing?
I've been getting abuse for my views on Arsenal because apparently I'm controversial and I back Mikel Arteta too much. So that's just standard. I do like a YouTube series podcast thing, rival podcast.
It's not a rival podcast. It's about football.
Well,
In no way is it a rival.
yeah, people just don't. Apparently, they don't like me. Some people just don't like me. So there you go. That's
Arsenal fans are a bit aggressive on social media, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
What
yeah.
sort of stuff have you said that you've had a bit of backlash about?
Yeah, mainly stuff about like the manager. People don't like my hair, and they don't
Oh,
like
that's-
certain. Or my yeah, some guy was like to me, "Oh, Mike, you look better without the beard." But I've had a beard since like 2013, so I don't know who this person is or like where they've come from. So
Who does your hair? The council.
That's so mean. You're so
No, I like you.
I'm not gonna rise to it.
Don't bite, Mike. Don't bite.
No, I'm not going to.
But yeah, so it's been a big week at Arsenal, though, hasn't it? So I mean, I think maybe let's start there. Ober and out. What's happened?
I know. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, some people think it was coming. I was like shocked at the sort of timing of it, because if you're having a manager that's like already under pressure, like to make a decision like that is huge. Like imagine like little old Ollie stripping Harry Maguire. Joe's going to cut that.
Little old Ollie stripping. There we go.
But yeah, can you imagine like if he stripped Maguire, like what?
Oh wow!
Maguire of the cap. I'm going to say of the captaincy a load of times, so you can edit that in.
Cool,
I'm sure you will do. But yeah, it's just it's a massive thing, because it is, you know, more than an ambassadorial role. Like it is the captain of the football club, and at a big football club like Arsenal, I'm not surprised it's happened, because there's been a load of like disciplinary things that have happened with Aubameyang, like coming back late from trips abroad. This one, I think he went to visit his mum, and he came back a day late. So some people were saying, oh, well, you can feel sympathetic. But yeah, as an isolated incident, but it's happened before. It's happened at previous clubs at Dortmund as well. So.
Happened against Spurs in March, didn't it? Because he was on the bench for the North London derby because he'd broken disciplinary rules. Happened twice at Dortmund, like you say. And the captain, especially in this day and age where players are even more difficult to, they find it more difficult to have a normal perspective and get their heads down, work hard, realise what a football club means. The captain needs to set an example, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he's absolutely not done that. So, but I just think the captaincy at Arsenal it's been, you know, it's not been a good thing to have to your name, because the last three captains, something traumatic has happened. Obviously, like Granit Xhaka, he like abused the fans, walked off the pitch. He was stripped of the captaincy.
Verbally.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Specify that, because it's like, in this era, it's important to like...
verbally
It
abused.
will never not be
verbally
funny.
abused. Yeah, verbally abused. And the previous captain, Laurent Koscielny, refused to go on the pre-season tour, and he left, and he was the captain at the time. So it's not been a fun gig. So I wonder who they're going to give it to next. I hope it's not like one of these young players that have not really been at the club for a long time, like Aaron Ramsdale, because even though he probably is captain material, it's a lot of pressure to put on someone that young.
Yeah.
Alan Hutton reckons Kieran Tierney.
Yeah, I think Kieran Tierney, but the problem is he's never in the team. Like, he's always got an injury. So depends whether you want it to be like a sort of, role that someone takes within the club, or whether it's like directly on the pitch to play every game. Like Jordan Henderson doesn't play every game for Liverpool, but he's been a great captain. So
Hannah, do you think like it's the captain that it's actually an important role in modern football?
Yeah, of course. When you say modern football, I was going to say traditionally, but I think in modern football, it's not as, I don't think it's as such a prestigious role anymore. And like you say, you might have a captain, and if they're not playing, ideally you'd want the captain to be playing every single match, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And have that dominance on the pitch. But I don't think you see that anymore. And especially like with so much rotation in modern day football and changes of formations, I do think that a lot of the captains aren't playing every match, and I do think it makes a difference.
But it's such a big role, because I remember Troy Deeney a couple of years ago. I think he was injured for like 5 or 6 months, but he was at every game, and he was in the dressing room before and after the games for Watford, because it's like you need that leader just to be around the club. And I think of kind of the great captains. I mean, to be fair, a couple of them at Arsenal: Tony Adams, Patrick Vieira, Roy Keane. David Beckham is my favourite ever captain, because I loved that sort of
David Beckham.
Well, no, but just that quiet. He was quiet at England, right? But then he just led by example, covered more yards than everybody else, worked so hard, conducted himself like a total gentleman, from what we understand. And I don't know, I just kind of thought like that's what a captain should be. And I wonder if that's lost in modern football. And I always thought with Aubameyang, like I never really saw anything about him that to me suggested that man looks like a captain.
he was just our best player, I think, at the time, and he was banging in all the goals, and obviously like the fans absolutely loved him. I don't think they love him anymore, a lot of them, because of his discipline, but also because he's gone off the ball. I think in football, if you're playing well and you're winning, you can get away with a lot of things, but as soon as you start to drop that form, and as soon as the team starts to lose, questions are asked, and the microscope is on you. So yeah, difficult for Aubameyang, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
And you've got to lead by example, haven't you?
Yeah.
And if you you don't get disciplinaries as a captain. You just abide by the club's rules and you set an example.
You're
to the
meant to
rest of the
enforce the club's rules, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
your role? Like, you're meant to sort of like show that to everyone else.
Although didn't Tony Adams get drunk and drive into someone's front room? So it's
different era.
Yeah, that was very much boys will be boys. So Tony, stop it. Also on a Christmas theme, didn't Michael Antonio drive into someone's front room dressed as a snowman? He was this a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
right?
he did,
didn't he?
Yeah,
so he was like on Instagram dressed as a snowman, like live streaming, like the weather outside. Lost control of his car and ended up in some woman's front garden.
That's so bad.
I think everyone was okay, so we can laugh about that now.
Yeah, they're fine.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, they still miss the dog. But I was going to talk about Leeds losing to Chelsea, but they got smashed 7-0 last night.
Yeah.
Humbled. Marcelo Bielsa said he could find nothing to take as a positive from that rout. You thought it was hilarious, Mike. Get him out the Premier League, you said. Is Bielsa done? Right, can I just say, it's a Christmas special. It's the 30th episode. We're celebrating.
Is it?
We're having. It is.
That's 30th episode.
It is. I know. It feels like longer, doesn't it? And
300th.
we're celebrating kind of like our first year. So we're in a proper studio. Mike's got a sound effects board. So expect lots
you
of.
You shouldn't let me have this, mate. Because it's been so long. Because we've been in lockdown, and I don't really work in radio that much.
Well, no one will
anymore.
hire us. So.
Right. Even Joe hired me to be a producer, and he's kicked me off being producing roles. So
No, you got the desk.
It's been a long. Yeah, I have, and this is like all I have. So I'm gonna savor it, and I'm gonna play every single sound effect that we have on this board today at some point, even if it doesn't fit.
Well, it's all about production values, and I feel that's really what we bring. Hannah, Leeds got battered 7-0 last night. Obviously, you're a United fan. United fan, to use the English language. There's obviously kind of like a lot of antagonism between United and Leeds, but do you think they're in trouble?
I just think other teams know how to play against Leeds now. I don't think they've kind of got the same work ethic that they had last season. Just because I'm a United fan doesn't mean that I say that I hate Leeds. But
Dirty Leeds.
Yeah, dirty Leeds.
Dirty Leeds.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't really have anything to comment on that. I'm going to sit on the fence as per usual.
All right. I don't have anything to... On a comedy podcast, I actually don't have anything to comment on that, Joe. So,
No, I genuinely
Politician
think...
Hannah is out again.
I do.
Ollie's gone, Hannah. You can relax. He's gone.
I think Leeds last season, towards the end of the season, they were like coming into their own, but I think they're a bit predictable, and I think that's been a challenge for them because, like I say, other teams know how to play against them now.
I think Hannah's absolutely right in terms of predictability because he's too gung-ho, isn't he, Bielsa? Yeah. He will kind of never back down. And I know Pep's like one of his disciples, but Pep kind of said last night, like, they push 5 people up on you. So there's loads of space for our fullbacks. Yeah. And it's like, Pep Guardiola is obviously a genius, but he didn't really have to be because it's just like, well, you're giving the best, probably the most talented team in the league all the space in the world. Of course you're going to get annihilated.
Yeah. And I think it's a different kettle of fish, but remember Chris Wilder's Sheffield United, they had some success in their first season because they played like these overlapping centre-backs and all that nonsense people were going crazy about. And then in the second season, they got found out, and I think that's what's happening to Leeds, and Marcelo Bielsa won't change his approach. Yeah. So it looks like they're going to go down. And I'm not sad about it.
It would be a shame to lose his translator, though, wouldn't it? Because I know he's like, he's like, yeah, so basically, like, what he's saying is like,
he's a bit of a robot, isn't he?
I love him.
Yeah, he's great.
He's such a legend.
Do you reckon he's like mates with Marcelo, like, but behind the scenes, like, do you reckon they go for beers, or he's just like, as soon as they're out of that interview room, he's like, doesn't look at him again.
It looks like he's selling. He's like, Leeds lost to Chelsea though at the weekend. Something we all love to see on the football pitch, Hannah. There was a big fight at the end.
Love a fight.
It's the best. When Martin Tyler goes, nobody likes to see that. No, you don't, you Ponce. I love it. I love it when there's a big scrap.
Sorry. I think it was about Martin Keown, but Martin Keown was talking about that as well. And on Match of the Day, he was talking about Antonio Rudiger, and he was saying Antonio Rudiger can well, first of all, he praised him for being aggressive, and then when the fight was being shown on Match of the Day, he was like, "Oh, actually, he's a bit too aggressive." It's like, sorry, Martin Keown was the most aggressive player, probably like one of the most aggressive players in the Premier League era. Like, do you remember what he did to Ruud van Nistelrooy?
He karate chopped him on the back of the head. He jumped up in the air.
Unbelievable. So the fact that he can talk that nonsense about Rudiger is mad.
It was pretty, because Gary Lineker did say, he was like, yeah, obviously you'd never do that, would you? It's like, come on, Martin, you were so much worse than him.
So aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's weird about Martin Keown is he's really quite nice and gentle and well spoken.
Yeah, he is. But he's got a different side to him though, like on the pitch. Like, it's just like the animal comes out, isn't it?
Well, he's like one of those guys that I think like he could be like your girlfriend's dad. It's like, oh, Martin's really nice, isn't he? And then someone pushes in front of him at the pub and he's like, what are you doing?
Like, if you do that again, I'm going to cut you.
It is Christmas. Hannah, should we open the fizz?
Yeah. Is it my responsibility to do this?
Yeah. Shall I do it?
Yeah, you.
Yeah. So,
this is quite loud. Sorry, listeners.
I want to
be careful. Put your hand over the top of it, just in case it.
I know. I've just got to get this silver bit.
Don't put it on the table, Joe.
Just in case.
No, I want to get this sound on air.
Look at the anticipation.
It's going to be loud.
Let's see if we can get this.
That's a bit of an anticipation.
Oh, that was a crackle as well. I got the crackle.
I feel nice. Physically turned on.
Thank God I'm sat on the opposite side of the table.
Still a little bit of Bucks Fizz. Cheers. Merry Christmas.
That means you have sex for 7 years if you don't look at somebody in the eye when you do the cling.
Oh, really? I must have done it a couple of times then. Sorry, girls. Right. This is probably quite a good chance to bring back a regular item. We normally do it, something that kind of you enjoy every week. It's time for things that make you go,
Like it's disgusting.
I had to bring that down. That was awful.
Oh, stiff as a banister. So let's...
Wait, can we just clear up that, like, Hannah, you'll agree with me on this, but when it's over Zoom or Zencaster, like, it's bearable because we're not right next to him.
Yeah.
But when he's like directly opposite us or next to us, it is so much more uncomfortable, Joe. Just letting you know.
You genuinely don't care.
Yeah.
You're proud to hear that sound.
What was really good is I sort of thought, I'm going to be a bit nervous doing it in front of them. And I closed my eyes and I felt like I was on my own. It is really nice. It's like, it gives me, like that ASMR. that people listen to,
Yeah.
and it like relaxes. It felt like that. I felt like I was doing ASMR on myself.
It's like stuff. No, it's not that.
Well, no, it's like having your hair cut. Like, it's quite nice, isn't it? Or someone being like, "Oh, hello, you're a good boy. You've been a good boy, Mikey. Hello."
It's getting worse. It's getting worse.
Like,
You know-
I feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah, you know there's a camera in here, Joe. Just to remind you.
There's two. Hannah's giant phone is filming us as well. Surprised there's not people behind it watching. It's like cinema screen. But Mike, what has made you go this season?
For
This
me,
season or this week?
No, this season because it's
This
Christmas
season.
special. Couldn't do it so
Okay, sorry,
far.
sorry.
But she's so off for me, wasn't she?
Oh, no.
Actually, I think you found it this week, mate. So
that was a great accent, by the way. That's exactly what Hannah sounds like.
literally,
Peter Kay. Things that made me go, Mo Salah's goal against Man City, I think. Yeah, I mean that was just different gravy, wasn't it? The way he just like spun about 3 or 4 players, and like this is against one of the best teams in the world. It's not playing against Burnley or Spurs or anything. Like this is the highest level. It was just
I'd
ridiculous,
almost
yeah.
let that slip.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, when I keep going back to this, but when Arsenal play Spurs, I think that's the easiest game we've had all season. I'm not even joking about that. So it's just truth, mate. Sorry, it hurts.
Hannah, what's made you go?
Like, what's made me go this season? I'm gonna go to the point where I was the most excited this season for as a United fan, which I say was Ronaldo coming into the team.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
For me, that's made me very excited. Not because it's Ronaldo, because he's Ronaldo, but just the impact he's made on the team and kind of defying what people have kind of said. Oh, is it a mistake to sign him? It wasn't a mistake because he's consistently scoring goals for us, and we saw that.
Can you give us a little rendition of his celebration, Hannah? Because I've seen some people murder it on TikTok. There's this girl, like an American girl, and like everyone was commented "see" in her comments, and she tried to do it, and it was awful.
What does he do? He just jumps up in the air, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he screams.
Yeah.
That can you do it, Hannah? or not?
No.
What does
I'll
he do?
Practice.
He goes "see."
Oh, I didn't know there was any audio to it. I thought it was very
he
much a visual
screams, doesn't
display.
he?
Does he?
What, have you guys missed the boat on Hannah? You know about it because they sing it. They scream at Old Trafford after he scores.
Yeah, but
yeah.
So that was entirely lost on
Well,
me.
you know when he won the Ballon d'Or, I can't remember whether it was the 4th or 5th time, but he just screamed, and that's basically what he does when he scores, and it's become like a trend.
No wonder he's got like 10 kids.
What you mean as he finishes?
Yeah.
See you in court.
Oh God!
Take that bit out.
Yeah.
We get in trouble for that.
That's the second person I've libelled today. I'm going to say Antonio Conte joining Spurs. The beginning...
Is that the only appropriate one?
This because I said a few weeks ago that it's kind of like you have these seminal moments in football and in sport in general, and it felt like a real transitional moment, not just for English football, for European football, as something new began. And I can see that it's going to be like that kind of great Bayern Munich team with Gerd Müller. It's like the Milan team under Arrigo Sacchi at the end of the 1980s. It's like Ronaldo coming back in the 2002 World Cup. Antonio Conte joining Tottenham is a transitional moment for football. Wouldn't you agree, Hannah?
Well, I'm not really bothered about Spurs. So
Good, there we
I don't
go.
really care. I think you could tell from the expression on my face.
Is that section over now?
I'm going to throw you one thing, though. Something that made me go, this week, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal's second goal against Southampton.
First goal.
First goal, the
Yeah,
triangles, the ding,
Yeah.
ding. It was
Unbelievable.
It was like a Sabutio goal.
Yeah, that is liquid football, isn't it?
Yeah.
Johan Cruyff will be proud of that goal.
It was, I'm not going to lie, that was very sexy. I mean, also Southampton, it's like question marks over the positioning, because if people just triangles it, is that a verb? I don't know. But like round you, then I think it's kind of leaves something to be desired, but that was very sexy.
It's the one touch, and like I think at that moment in the game, like Arsenal were really struggling to put anything together. Like Ramsdale was going mental because he kept getting passes to him that were too short or were pushing him wide, and that was one of the instances. But he just like hit it, and it was just one touch for like ping, 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 and then like Lacazette finally scored. So yeah, it was great. The thing is, we do score one like that every season, but it's a rare occurrence.
Well, do you know what? No, I think like obviously we talked about it before with Mikel Arteta, and you've been upsetting Arsenal fans on Twitter, but
because of your hair, not because of what you said.
Well, yeah, personality and hair, but he's actually doing a good job, Mikel Arteta, and he's obviously got that old guard that he's trying to move on and bring through young players.
Because I struggle to look at it because like obviously I'm a massive Arsenal fan.
You're too close.
Yeah, it's hard to get like an overall assessment. Like, do you think he's actually doing a good job, Hannah? Do you think he is, or you're not sure?
I'm not sure.
I think he's rebuilding, isn't he? And it's like there's a lot of it's a very transitional period, and I think he's brought in a huge amount of young players. And obviously, I said to you at the start of the season, I was taking the mickey out of you about I'd never heard of any of the players, but he's done really well.
Yeah, and those players have all been good, Joe. By the way,
they've been really good. He's got the best record after 50 games of an Arsenal manager, apart from George Graham. So that's including Arsene Wenger.
After that, we did lose like 3 games, but whatever.
The thing is, if it's this time next year and you're still like your results are still massively up and down, then there's question marks. But I do feel like right now he's kind of playing with half a team and the other half are destined for the door.
I think the way that I look at it right now is if he fails to improve on the last 2 seasons where we finished 8th in both seasons, missed out on Europe, I think if he doesn't get us back into Europe, there'll be serious questions asked. And then if there is a top coach available, they'll have to go for him. I don't think they will because I think they're invested in him. And he's invested in the team. But I think, to be honest, like the Aubameyang thing, that is quite a big show of faith because I think he would have had to get back in to do that from like the higher powers. So they obviously trust in him more than they trust in, not God. Oh, God, Joe. From the higher powers of the football club.
Yes, Mikel is doing a good job. That's God, by the way.
But yeah, they've got his backing, I think. So
we're talking about captains. Bukayo Saka has assisted 22 goals in all competitions for Arsenal since the start of 2019, 4 more than any other player at the club. Captain,
the little chilly. As I said, like no, I don't want to put that kind of, well, not me. I'm not making it.
Again, you and God. That's the board.
No, I personally wouldn't want to see that sort of pressure put on a youngster because I just don't think that it's necessary, and I don't really think he's a sort of leadership type anyway. I'm like a traditionalist in the sense that I want my captains to be either goalkeepers or defenders, maybe defensive midfielders, because they see the game and they sort of have like the most tactical awareness. I think strikers, like what tactical awareness do they have really? Like when to run in behind, when to like what technique to shoot the ball with. I don't think there's really much to it.
And it comes down to experience as well, isn't it? You don't want a young player within that sort of captaincy role. You need somebody that's had exposure to loads of different situations and had a lot of experience. So I think a young player coming in, could somebody that's quite young but have that level of authority on a pitch?
The only guy I think could do it in that sort of age bracket is a bit older, but is probably Rashford. And I think that will probably upset a lot of United fans because they're not happy with him at the moment. But I just think in terms of the stuff he does off the pitch as well, he's such a well-respected guy.
And he's gone through the academy at the club.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly.
So.
I think he would like embody a lot of, and I definitely would have given it to him over Harry Maguire because I just don't think Maguire's a great player. I
feel sorry for Harry Maguire though, and he said a few weeks ago, didn't he? Like, listen, I know people don't like me, but at the same time, like if I'm going to be asked to play week on week, then I'll play.
I'm only as good as I am. Like, I'm trying my best. Like,
he's just a fridge, though, isn't he?
Well, have you seen what Raphael van der Vaart's been saying about him?
What's a fridge?
He's a fridge. He's just wide.
A big thing that you keep
and can't move.
I've never heard a human being, being called a fridge before.
Well, Papa Bouba Diop was the wardrobe, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So similar dimension. He's not similar dimension. Papa Bouba Diop was...
He's a lot bigger.
Oh, he's a big boy. He was a big boy.
So not because he's cold or anything. You just think he's just big?
No.
Let me just clarify this whole fridge thing.
Yeah, he's got peas in his drawers. Manchester United. So Cristiano Ronaldo's ruined Manchester United, as we know. No player has scored more winning goals in the Premier League this season than Cristiano Ronaldo. And only Jamie Vardy's goals have been worth more points for his side. Mm-hmm. Is Ronaldo, like, how many league positions is he worth to you right now?
Well, when you say, why are you going to start a bit of slag off of Ronaldo here?
No, that was me being ironic, but I didn't deliver it very well. He's done very well.
He's serving his purpose at United while we rebuild and while we go through our transition period. So he's serving a very good purpose, and he's coming on and he's impacting games, and that's what we want him for. But remembering his age, we need the up-and-coming players to be stepping up, and remembering that up-and-coming players or players already at Manchester United are not Ronaldo. And I think when he first came, the expectation was that players would be like, I'm going to train harder, I'm going to work, my work ethic is going to be similar to Ronaldo. And I think a lot of players thought just because Ronaldo was there that they're on par with him. And I think we had a bit of a difficult transition period when he first came to the team. But with the new manager and stuff, I'm hoping that's going to iron itself out. And like I say, it's a transition period, isn't it? But what better role model have you got than Ronaldo?
Well, also, he's not just about training hard, he's about training smart.
Yeah.
There's a Gary Neville story that he was talking about Cristiano Ronaldo when he first came to United in 2005 or whatever it was. And they were saying, so I can't remember who I think it was Mike Phelan or whatever was the coach out there then, and was like, right, boys, sprints. We got like 5 more sprints to do. And Ronaldo was jogging. And Gary Neville was just like, what are you doing? And he literally just turned to him and just went, too much water kills the plant. So like he knew how to use his body,
like
and it's
spare himself almost.
Yeah, because there's this British thing like run yourself into the ground. It's like, no, you got to play on Saturday, dickhead. So like, you can't be knackered.
The other thing to that is I don't think Ronaldo should be playing every game, because that is basically summarises what he said back then, and that he's getting older. The last thing that Manchester United right now can afford to happen is for Ronaldo to get injured or for him to be out for 3 or 4 months, because that'll massively impact.
He just doesn't get injured though, does he? Like, I don't know what he does behind.
Don't jinx him, Mike.
No, but he just doesn't
injure himself now.
He's just like, I think probably what he's done throughout his whole career is, get to that stage with his fitness and do all these techniques that he does, and as you said, like spare himself as well to get to the stage where he can play every game. Because like, look what happened when Ollie benched him against Everton. Like, it was outrage, and it created like probably a much bigger problem than there needed to be. So as long as he's like says that he's okay and he's like performing, I just don't think there's any reason to sort of leave him out.
But he's 36.
Yeah,
so it's like,
but
he's not really.
Ronaldo's 36 is like someone else is 21. Like he is just that much of a beast.
Yeah, it's like I'm 34, but I'm 58. Like, really.
I'm 95.
Yeah, literally, this could be the Joe Forrester Memorial Special. The way things are going. 2 clean sheets in a row, though. Are you quietly confident with Ralph Rangnick?
I think so. You've got to be, haven't you? For your club, your team, you've got to be positive. But I think there's a lot of work to go. Watching the performance at the weekend, it was pretty shocking, to be honest. Just looked tired. Maybe that's because the new managers come in and we've been training slightly different way of training a bit harder. I don't know, but it was pretty shocking performance. So there's a lot of work for him to ahead of him.
So are you laughing because I've just got like a cork?
I mean, I don't know what you're doing with that cork.
Oh, sorry, that was me like listening. But
oh, right.
Well, he can't touch his boobs now because he's in front of other people.
It's like me when I'm feeding.
Oh.
Sorry. Carry on.
But yeah, obviously made quite.
Put you off then, didn't I, Joe?
You did really put me off. Yeah, made quite, because I looked at Matt's face and he's like. Made quite heavy weather of beating Norwich though, but like all the kind of sounds coming out of Manchester United are that he's going to revolutionise the club. Do you kind of think now, because I know you were, well, depending on what sort of mood you're in, you're a big Ollie defender.
Yeah.
Do you think that now you kind of realise that you potentially have a better manager for the job?
Yeah, I think so. We've got more. I think so. Yeah, we've got more experience, and I don't like the fact that we don't know the guaranteed future. So I don't like the thought of a manager coming in for 6 months or a year or 2 years with a view that players can get complacent and they can think, well, if that manager doesn't really like me that much and I've signed a contract, I'll still be here. They may just not deliver as much as they would do if they had a committed manager that they knew the owners of the club, were going to keep in for, like, we want that manager for 10 years. It's not. I don't like that transition.
Yeah, it's a bit weird not knowing kind of what manager you're going to have at the end of the year. I do think that Rangnick will get moved upstairs and kind of be in charge of reorganising the club. Speaking of reorganising a club, Steven Gerrard, secretly the best manager in the world. He's only lost 2 games since he's been at Villa. That's to City and Liverpool. I thought he was pretty unlucky against Liverpool. They defended the whole game. They should have had a penalty. It's beyond me why they didn't have a penalty when Danny Ings got fouled in the box. He's done really well, hasn't he, Mike?
Yeah, by the way, just to say, there's some shocking penalty decisions last weekend.
It's been mad.
Man City's penalty for was it Bernardo Silva into play, and it was handball, but it never ever was.
Yeah,
it's disgraceful. But yeah, Gerrard, I think I don't really know how he comes across. He's very straight laced. He's straight shooter, isn't he? I don't really know what to make of him so far, but judging by his managerial record, you can't question him, can you?
I can't get past the fact still that it's Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
I
'cause I'm
know.
still like, just stop it. Just go on and run the length of the pitch and smash one in the top corner. It's still, but he's a different manager to the sort of player he was, because the team are really well organised. I think there's only 2 occasions in his whole time in Scotland where they won a game by more than 2 goals. They're really defensively well organised. I think he's doing a really...
Great stat, Joe.
Thank you very much. I think he's doing a really, really good job.
He doesn't have the aura, like he's got like a superior aura to like Frank Lampard. Like you're talking about 2 of the best like midfielders in history like of the game, and Frank Lampard just sort of seemed like he didn't really know what he was doing. Is that just because he was at Chelsea with like a whole load of players and like he was sort of just seen as someone to get them by? Maybe he would have been better like taking a smaller job first, and then because I like Lampard now, Gerrard's obviously started with Rangers, which was a good stepping stone. Then he's at Villa, like probably going to go to Liverpool after. I feel like that's a much better like step to take rather than Lampard going from Derby, missing out on getting promotion and then straight to Chelsea.
Yeah.
He sort of screwed himself a little bit, isn't he?
Do you know what I think? Like Lampard is a bit more happy-go-lucky. Seems like probably a guy that'd be easier to get on with. Steven Gerrard's pretty intense.
Yeah, he's
and
quite
like
scary, isn't he?
serious guy. And there's a really good thing in Peter Crouch's autobiography where he talks about when you first go to Liverpool and your first training session is Steven Gerrard just wallops the ball at you as hard as he can, and all you got to do is control it. And if you can't control the ball, he'll just be like, you're not good enough. And I mean, that's weird because that's a pretty Liverpool team as well. It's like, how did Jimmy Traore get through that test? You know what I mean? But I think he's he's got that aura of
He does.
of respect. Hannah, are you kind of used to Gerrard as a manager with his little burgundy and blue tie? It's a bit weird, isn't
Every
it?
time we say Steve Gerrard, you know the chant, Steve Gerrard.
He's big and he's
Gerrard. Every time.
That was 2 different ones.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he slipped on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you-
Couldn't say it swearing though.
Do you remember Peter Crouch? He's big, he's red, his feet stick out the bed. That's nice, isn't it?
I love chants. But Steve Gerrard. He's definitely got an aura about him. I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him. Frank Lampard, I'd probably take my chances, but yeah, Steve Gerrard.
You're happy to get on the wrong side of Frank.
Not for me.
Oh, is he not?
Not for me. Not my type. No.
No? Who? What is your type? What are we talking?
So probably something really gangly and long.
Something really gangly. What a human
With a
being.
pulse.
Out of the, because we did it in the Euros, didn't we? We sort of said like the sexiest manager at the Euros. I think we came up with Roberto Mancini.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we did.
What would you say for the Premier League? It's got to be Sean Dyche.
I've got
surely.
that voice.
Listen,
Yeah.
it's
Can you
Sean
imagine?
Dyche for me all the way.
Can you imagine him just whispering into your ear, sweet
I
nothing?
could.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, you know.
There we go, yeah. Dinner will be ready in 5. Come on, love.
That's good.
Because it is a Christmas
Yeah.
special, so it's time for a very special moment. It's Sean Dyche's Poetry Grotto.
Poetry grotto. Right, I haven't practiced this. I've got 2 poems actually.
Well, no, you wrote it in the studio, so let's see how it goes.
'Twas a night before Christmas for the Claret and the Blue. Another relegation battle, but that's nothing new. Not a striker scoring, what am I to do? Sign Pep to manage and come celebrate with you.
It's really
When I say that, he's come all the way here from Burnley.
the fans liked it. That's what matters.
I didn't practice that. I'm sorry. That was probably my worst one.
I actually think that's one of your best.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, and you get really defensive, sometimes they don't really rhyme.
You know, my husband wrote that.
Because what is good is sometimes it's every other line,
Yeah,
sometimes it's
it's
every
just-
third. It's just like,
You 2 are always like that.
but
It's like A B C D,
Yeah.
not A B A B.
But also, it's like you're halfway through and you realise, I haven't rhymed a word in a bit, so you do it.
yeah.
Instead of going back and correcting, you just be like, I'll just sod it, I'll just put.
Yeah. fuck
But
it.
obviously it's great. Hannah. Obviously, like to caveat it was great.
Right, it is Christmas, and I've got a surprise for both of you.
Oh no.
Okay,
God.
so
I'm not doing a football quiz against Mike.
I've got some presents.
Okay. Were we supposed to do presents?
So
You didn't tell us about this.
this is for Hannah,
Oh, my
my
God. With a penis
Is
on
it?
it.
and this is.
I think I know what this is. Is it like an outfit for me to wear later?
No, and this is because you two, one of the great tropes of this show has been your kind of blossoming bromance, your BFFs. You two have kind of really really joined together and your love has blossomed and sort of to my detriment, I must say. So I got you kind of presents to celebrate that. So
Are they matching?
Should we do it?
there you go. So open it up, Mike.
I love the wrapping paper, by the way.
Oh, that's just a card for later for our game in the pub.
Same bad people. Okay.
So yeah, the wrapping paper, it's not very Christmassy. It's got unicorns on it.
Oh, I absolutely knew it.
Oh my God.
So
Oh my God. This is why you wanted a photo. Oh, Lord. I've got an yeast infection. Oh my God. Right, I'm gonna wear that. Can I wear that in the restaurant later?
of course you can, mate. Yeah.
Is it a sort of posh place or? Will
It
they...
is quite posh, but I'm sure they'll find other reasons to throw us
Do you
out.
know what? I got you absolute call for Christmas.
Good. So yeah.
Sorry.
So there we go. That's it. Yeah. Merry Christmas, guys. Anyway,
Oh, thanks, Joe.
Thanks.
that's just what I wanted to say. Should we talk about the Champions League draw? So UEFA have said in a statement, because the Champions League had to do a redraw this week, UEFA have said in a statement, following a technical problem with the software of an external service provider that instructs the officials as to which teams are eligible to play each other, a material error occurred in the draw for the UEFA Champions League round of 16. As a result of this, the draw has been declared void and will be entirely redone. That's about as clear as mud, isn't it, Mike? So what happened? They basically put United in the wrong pot. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think essentially they made it so that they could only draw the team that they drew,
Yeah.
which I don't know.
It basically means you can't play a team from the same country and you can't play a team who's been in your group.
Yeah,
That's essentially what happened. Now,
Yeah.
to me, it seems like if we're able to organise a podcast, they
but
could surely organise a draw.
But we couldn't organise the Instagram live.
Well,
We couldn't do it.
that's something for them to look forward to next Christmas, isn't it? So not everything will go right. But everyone was kind of saying that it was a fix and stuff like that. Do you think it was incompetence?
Well, probably, yeah. It must be.
It's UEFA, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's an easier draw though. I feel like maybe it's a harder draw.
Yeah.
Because PSG, like they obviously like, have superstars, but as a team, like Fresco are better. So I think United are out either way. So
Oh.
whatever way you look at it, but yeah, like this is like UEFA's showpiece. Like this is their money maker. And for a sort of organisation that doesn't get the best press anyway, like you think at least get this right, like drawing balls out of pots.
Well, do you know what, right? It's kind of one of those things you think, have we just checked that everybody's in the right pot? Why would you not check that before it
Yeah.
goes live on television around the world? Bucks Fizz?
And why is there no one in their ear as well? I think was it Andre Arshavin drawing the balls?
Also,
why is no one telling him like can we
mad
correct
choice to present it. Andre Arshavin. That is,
Yeah.
you are right at the end of footballers who've said yes.
Yeah,
At
because
that point.
he was in one of our prior episodes, Joe, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Because he's a fashion designer apparently. So I'm just giving Mike some more Bucks Fizz.
But we know what it's like working in TV, though, don't we? And we're like
Yeah,
working
totally.
on live shows
Yeah.
and stuff, where people are genuinely quite incompetent in roles that you would expect people to be able to
Name
do the
some
job.
names, Hannah East.
Oh, I can't say anything. But when I've in previous jobs where people, like yourself when you're presenting and people give you a running order like 10 minutes before you start.
Never heard of that, Joe.
There's been scenarios where I'm sat about to go live on a TV show and I haven't actually read through what's going to come up on the auto cue, and you're relying on the producer to have got it right and the person that's on typing things onto the auto cue in the first place.
Do you control the speed of it? Do you have that, or is that someone else?
Depends. Sometimes at United, I used to have a foot pedal.
I hate that because my feet are too heavy. So I just whiz through it.
Especially when you're in stilettos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly, Joe. But yeah, like the gig I did last week with the auto cue, somebody controlled it.
Yeah.
But the girl couldn't speak any English that was controlling it, which really concerned me because when we started off, they were like, she's just going to follow as you go. And I was like, but how's she going to know because she can't speak English and it's in English? So there's a few points where I was like doing that with my hand like that in vision because she just
Come
wasn't-
on.
Yeah, because she wasn't moving it quick enough, and then you look like you're going, and then
Yeah.
what we do.
Well, the thing is, the presenter looks like when that sort of stuff happens, and it's not your
Speak
fault.
for yourself.
I did. Yeah, Hannah's actually good at her job, to be fair.
I'm actually really not.
So I did a thing for Capital FM. It was like help a something or other child. It's for their charity. So it was during London Fashion Week, and I was like presenting this big raffle for Capital FM, and like I was like, oh, how does the raffle work? And that was really easy. Just pull the tickets out of the bucket. You'll be absolutely fine. When I came to do that, none of the tickets matched what people had. So I was like, number 52. Nope. Number 33. Number 8. No, literally lobbing them over my shoulder like that. About 500 people in Kensington roof gardens, all drunk as well, like staring up at me. And then I turned to the side and like was looking at the floor manager who'd given me it. She was just crying. Because obviously it had gone wrong. And I was like, well, don't cry. Tell me what to do. So I was like, oh, look, somebody's won. We'll sort it out later, yeah? It's all for the kids. Like,
Hey, do you know once, right? So I was presenting a beauty pageant. You know, have you heard of Miss England?
yes.
So they were like my first presenting jobs to do live shows. And sometimes you'd have like 400 parents there, you know, where they think their daughters are like beautiful and stuff. And all the girls would come on, like they hadn't eaten for about a week, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, I love like world peace and animals." And it's like, yeah, okay, so what you know, what's your hidden talent? And they're so nervous, like, "Oh, world peace and animals," because somebody's told them to say it, and it's like, no, but what do you enjoy to do? Like, what? And then they'd freeze.
It's awful.
And once the lady organising it I was announcing who was coming third, who was coming second, and who'd won. And she mixed the person that had won it and the person that came second.
Oh no.
So I announced, she wrote it on the sheet for me. I announced who'd come second, and then she's shouting me from the side of the stage. And I'm just like, I don't know why she's shouting me. It was my second presenting job I'd ever done. And she was like, stop. And I was like, what? And she said, oh, take a break. Tell them to take a break. I was like, we've already had like 4 breaks anyway. The judges were taking ages. I went off the stage and she was like, that's the wrong name. And I was like, hold on. And then, you know, when you think, oh, I've done something, it must be me. I've done something wrong. And I was like,
They
I'm
gave
so
you the wrong
sorry.
name, yeah.
I'm so sorry. And then I looked at the sheet that she'd written on. She was like, no, I know I've counted the votes. So I was like, right. So the girl that came second had actually won it. But then, it was so awkward.
So
then
you have to go back out?
I had to go back on the stage 40 minutes later. And then say, listen, you know, there's been it. But then as a presenter, you look like you've made the mistake.
Yeah. So you're just like, you stop crying. You, however, you might end.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to need a Kleenex, love, because actually.
Yeah. But the girl that actually had come second, she obviously thought she'd won it, because the girl that actually won it, I'd announced her come second, was like, oh, and like she was really disappointed. And then it's like, well, you've won and you think you've won, but you haven't. You actually came second. It was so awkward.
That happened in the Oscars, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously similar scale to what Hannah was doing.
Yeah, totally the same scale for a beauty competition.
Miss England, the Scarborough Regional versus the Academy Awards. An old friend of the show who came up on the show about 20 episodes ago, Ricky the Pig, was seen leaving the Nou Camp this week after Bayern Munich. No, it was Allianz Arena after Bayern Munich beat Barcelona 3-0 again, and he was watching Money Heist on his iPad. So lots of Spanish football journalists went mental about this, said after you get battered, you shouldn't be doing things like that. So I thought, what's the worst thing you've ever been caught watching, Mike?
Can Hannah answer this one first? I need to think about whether my answer is suitable for the people that listen to this show.
Okay, idiots. So, yeah.
Or like my family.
Nobody.
Like my mum. Yeah, my mum, yeah, and Joe's mum.
Hannah, have you ever been caught watching anything?
No, but I've caught somebody. I did a house viewing, and there's a boy I had 6 girls with me, and there was a boy. We have to notify tenants to say we're going to come round and do a house viewing. So we told this group, this 6-bed house, had 6 girls with me. They were quite pretty and all done up and everything. I was like, right, we're just going to have a look upstairs. And I was like, oh, hi, it's Hannah from, and then say the name of my company. Walk upstairs, double knocked on his door, walked in. He is naked, apart from his socks that were odd socks, by the way, on the floor, right? He had his hand underneath his knee, and he's just
Underneath his knee.
No, but people
Is
do.
this like the in-betweeners technique?
Yeah, I've heard that, so it feels like someone else is touching it.
Yeah.
You turn your hand to make it go numb.
Well, I've only heard that from in-betweeners. I don't know where you've heard it from.
It was really, it was weird. And so I was like, but then I was like, oh, because I didn't want the girls to see, but I didn't know if he was doing it because he knew that the girls were coming.
No,
or
definitely not.
Just at
Not for us the best move.
5:30 in the afternoon was just how. So I was like, I said, what are you doing? Because I thought, I don't want the girls to see. And then he kind of looked at me and he was like 2 stone wet through. And I thought, I don't know what to do.
Sorry, he didn't scream and stop and go, I'm so sorry.
No, he just carried on facing the laptop watching porn.
Did you see what he was watching?
I've started, so I'll finish.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know what he expected. And then I said, well, finish what you're doing and we'll come back in 5 minutes.
Hannah, that's very kind of you.
That's what I said. And I was like, we'll get the carpet professionally cleaned, the bed will get professionally cleaned, everything. But they were like, yeah, it's not for us. Didn't take the house.
Well, I on my 30th birthday, me and 2 friends had we had a joint birthday party at a pub in Battersea. And when we went down there, we got there like an hour early so I could play my playlist and stuff. And I brought my iPad so I could like connect it to the Spotify, connect it to their speakers and stuff.
Oh, God.
And they were just
God.
they were like, okay, so you're connected to the speakers now. So I opened it up and just the last thing I'd been watching was an episode of and it went on the speakers throughout the whole pub. And I was like, oh no, probably not that. It's just the Dirty 30 birthday playlist. Oh, it's awful. Guys, I have one final surprise for you. Okay, so it is a quiz. Don't worry, Hannah. I'm not going to make you do a football quiz against Mike the Brain Stavru.
Mike.
But in honour of our esteemed producer Mike and of course Santa Claus, it's time for a special beard-themed quiz. I'm going to give you a clue. You have to name the famous hairy-faced historical figure. There are 3 clues for each, and should neither of you get these incredibly easy questions right, no one will get the point. There are 5 to play for, and the winner gets to make the loser do a very special challenge.
Oh, Christ.
Oh,
Okay?
Anxiety.
what sort of challenge? Are we not going to find out?
I thought it was stuff a mince pie in your mouth.
It's got something to do with mince pies, Hannah, I can tell you that.
Oh.
Christ.
So, there are 5 to play for.
Okay.
You've got to buzz in. Whoever buzzes in first
Okay, I'm just finding my...
gets to answer.
Okay.
If you answer incorrectly, though, then the other person gets a free hit. So, Hannah, what's your buzzer? There it is. And Mike? Okay, very good. Right. The first one.
Yeah.
Born in 1491. They get easier, don't worry.
God's sake, Joe. History quiz.
Weighed 28 stone.
Henry VIII.
Correct. It is Henry VIII. 1 point for Hannah East.
God.
No one is more surprised than Hannah.
That is the only person she knows from that period.
The only old fat person I know.
That's good. That's very good.
That was a sign of
28
wealth, though, wasn't
stone.
it?
28 stone.
Henry was
Fat
big, wasn't he?
bastard.
They were
He
trans.
doesn't look that big in the pictures.
Well, Hans Holbein kind of painted him to make his waist look thin and his codpiece look big as a sign of masculinity. So, yep.
What a mate.
There you go. Number 2.
Yep.
The 16th
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Hannah didn't buzz in, so that makes
Yeah,
it
but
a
I went
void.
and said it after.
Did
I
you?
said it again. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
But also, we trailed this as a live show and we couldn't work out the live, so things do go wrong.
I'm not happy about this.
Number 2.
Yeah.
The 16th president of the United States.
Nixon.
Incorrect. Hannah, you now get to have a go.
Oh, and that's not fair. We didn't. This wasn't in the rules.
It was.
You didn't say
It
that
was,
you were
wasn't
locked
it?
out.
No. You just got to hold it for one clue. All right.
Oh God, I don't know.
Well, hang on. There's another
okay,
clue.
right, sorry. Yeah.
It's
Get
not- it's
out.
not-
The Gettysburg Address. Okay, Mike, you're allowed to join in.
Do you know it?
Third clue. Assassinated while at the theatre.
JFK.
Incorrect.
He wasn't at the theatre. was
The
he?
answer is, do you guys know? It is Abraham Lincoln.
Oh,
Yeah,
he wasn't at the
very,
theatre. He was in the car. I knew that.
very good. So no one gets the point for that one. Right, the third one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that.
These aren't necessarily real people, by the way. They can be from fiction.
Okay.
Wait, I don't remember. Oh, okay, I'm not going to.
Well, the first 2 were real, but you didn't know them.
No.
Okay, number 3. His favourite childhood pet was a spider. He drives a special motorbike. He kidnaps children from under the stairs.
I'm lost.
Anybody guess? I'll give you one.
Go for it again.
I'll give you one more clue.
No, can you just go through the previous clues again?
Well, there's no point.
Yeah, give me another clue.
Favourite childhood pet was a spider.
Yeah,
Drives a special motorbike.
yeah.
Kidnaps children from under the stairs. I'll give you a couple more clues.
Mm-hmm.
Works at a school.
Oh,
You know, man who knows. He lives in a hut by the end of a creepy forest.
This is wrong, but Hagrid.
Yes! Correct!
Oh, God.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was Rubius Hagrid.
Who's he kidnapped?
Harry Potter lives under the stairs at Privet Drive, doesn't he? But I mean, that was a little joke because he takes him willingly.
They kidnapped.
Kidnap him? That threw me off.
Did he kidnap?
All right. Congrats to me.
Well, it's my quiz, so yes, it did.
Oh, I'm not doing very well now.
Okay, the fourth one, sorry. The local GP for Hyde, Manchester.
Oh, it's going to be a dodgy one, isn't it?
Played by James Bolam in a 2002 TV adaptation of his life.
Oh God, I don't know.
Not a doctor you would like to go and visit.
Doctor Who.
Harold Shipman.
It is Harold Shipman. Very good. It is Harold Shipman.
So twisted. So twisted.
I couldn't think of more famous people with beards.
Oh.
Sorry.
Doctor
Okay.
Who.
And you said Doctor Who.
I was like,
And the final one, Hannah can draw it here. Based on a 4th century Greek Christian bishop of Myra in modern day Turkey.
Oh, Joe, for God's sake.
According to Swiss folklore, has a creepy assistant called Schmutzli, who carries a twig broom to spank naughty children.
so it's not Medusa. I don't know.
No, and you
Medusa.
a woman with snakes for hair and no bit.
All right, sorry, can you... I've lost the first bit. Can you just go back to the first clue again?
You want? Okay, give you both. Based on a 4th century Greek Christian bishop of Myra in modern Turkey. According to Swiss folklore, so I've made this quite sort of florid
I don't really know
to
what's
hide
going
it.
on. Yeah.
Right, but just think about the simple facts.
Right.
According to Swiss folklore, has a creepy assistant called Schmutzli, who carries a twig broom to spank naughty children.
Is it President Erdogan?
It's not topical. There we go. You're both back in for clue number 3. He only works one day a year, and it's coming up very soon.
Santa Claus.
Christmas.
Father Christmas.
I was first.
No, I was.
Guys, who do you think was first?
VAR.
Mike!
But the problem is he's got a button to press. You can hear it first, but I was going.
Well, no,
You've got a mouth.
It takes me longer. It takes me longer to press the button.
I had to inhale before I went like that.
Didn't have to. There you go. Right, so Mike wins. Mike wins 2-1. And Hannah, what you're going to do is put a whole mince pie in your mouth
Okay.
Should be good at this.
and tell us something you're ashamed of.
Can we get a close up of this? Please?
So I've got the mince pies for
Tell
you
you
here.
something I'm ashamed of.
I got the mince pies for you here, Hannah. Could be anything's happened recently, bad parenting, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get these mince pies out for you. So, Sainsbury's, deep filled.
Vegan.
Deep field.
Are they vegan? They are. They're vegetarian.
It really doesn't matter.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
There's no. It's
So
not.
I just have to shove the whole thing and tell you.
Put it in your
something.
mouth and tell us a secret. Yes, I was going to get this out for you. Here
So-
comes the train.
Thanks. If you hand it back to your hands, I just have to put the whole thing in.
Yeah, pop it in.
Right. Okay, this is so embarrassing. Can I bite it first or not?
So just see if it goes in. There it goes.
We just got to the back of my throat.
You can chew it up a bit, I think. There we go. Don't gag on it. Do not gag on it.
Hannah, you all right?
Are you all right? You got a mince pie in your mouth. Your eyes are streaming.
She's got a wet nose as well. But...
Do you want to? You can chew it up a bit more and then tell us something you're ashamed of. You got crumbs on your lap.
Oh.
You tell us something you're ashamed of, yeah.
This does not count. What was that?
Oh, sorry.
The girl was too stunned to speak.
Sorry, Hannah. You can eat it if you like, because I don't want to kill you during the show. Should we go first? Mm-hmm. Okay. I was thinking about this in the way here, and I once. Ow! I took the mic.
Did you?
Yeah, I was on the way back from Budapest, and I'd had quite a frustrating weekend, and I was like hungover, and I just wanted to relax.
Right.
Oh God!
Okay.
So I was going to say I ate my son's Advent chocolate yesterday.
Oh, God!
Hannah.
Did he ask
Awful.
Mummy where it is?
Yeah.
Where is it?
I said the elves ate it. So he was naughty.
Oh, Hannah, that's bad.
Did you eat it because he was naughty, or you ate it because you felt like it, and then he was naughty, and you
He wasn't
had
naughty.
an excuse?
I just wanted to eat it.
Oh my!
Don't you look
God.
at me like that.
The
You on an aeroplane. Oh my God.
No, I just did it in a quite a sort of relaxed, gentlemanly manner. You ashamed of anything, Mike?
There's so many things I'm ashamed of, but one that it's actually quite sad. But when I broke up with my first girlfriend when I was 15 years old, who I was only going out with for 2 weeks. So there's two parts.
I killed her.
No.
She's in the fridge.
I'm so pleased we're not live.
She gave me like a bracelet, right? And like this meant the world to me. Took it to Cyprus with me on holiday. By the way, it was 2 or 3 weeks ago together. One of them I was in Cyprus for a week, by the way. She gave that to me. I obviously like clung on to it. I lost it, and it was like the worst moment of my life. And then when we'd broken up, it was really I took it really badly. She did it over the phone. Didn't have the balls to meet up with me or anything to tell me. And then when she broke up with me, I went home and watched Neighbours for 6 hours and stayed up all night and ate ice. Yeah, I know. And then
It's like Bridget Jones.
No.
I know. I took it really badly. And then when she asked for because she'd moved on like quickly with this South African weirdo called Kelly.
With a girl?
I'm an arsehole. No, a guy.
He's also, right, you're
Yeah.
15,
Yeah.
you know his name. It's like still really...
No, it is.
in your
It is because I was watching Love Island with my missus the other day, and there was a guy that looked like him, and I started getting triggered. I started shaking. I was like, this guy, like, he's come back to haunt me. Anyway,
He's in
this
the
is
fridge as well.
this is a very long story, but it's essentially when she asked for her bracelet back, I just broke it.
In front of her.
Well, no, not in front of her, but I just basically snapped it and then like sent a picture of the broken stuff on the floor and was like, no, well, you can have it back, but it's in 10 pieces. So
Well, there you go. Whether it's
Oh my!
on a plane,
sad,
Mike's
isn't it?
heartbreak, or Hannah's poor parenting. Merry Christmas, everybody. That's it for the Christmas special. Just very quickly, got an announcement to make. We are joining podcast radio. So you can now hear us every Friday night, every Saturday morning, every Sunday morning on DAB in Manchester, across the southeast of England, in London and in Birmingham. So yeah, we're going to be on your radio every weekend.
I
which is
just
good.
genuinely don't know how that's happened.
Yeah. Me hassling various executives at the company. So there you go. Thank you. It's been a really great year, and thank you everyone for all your support. And have a lovely Christmas. Thank you very much, Hannah East.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
cheers, lad.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.